I usually don't get excited about new products, but this brand new product from Similarweb is an exception.
Have you ever wondered how many downloads your competitor's app is getting or how engaged their users really are? Most of that data feels impossible to find, but with Similarweb's app intelligence, you can get clear answers. It reveals total installs, accurate retention rates, and even audience demographics, so you can spot opportunities, track industry trends, and outsmart the competition. Even better, you can try it for a week completely free. That way, you'll get to see why industry leaders like OpenAI and Walmart trust Similarweb's data to make critical decisions. In this video, I'll walk you through many of their best features, step by step, and show you how to start outperforming the competition today. Let's get started. Onboarding. Head on over to similarweb.com and click Get Started. After entering your personal information and verifying your email address, Similarweb is going to ask you additional questions to personalize your user experience. Spend the time to answer these truthfully. Continue to follow the onboarding process, and you will eventually arrive at this screen, the homepage. On the left sidebar, you will see all the tools that Similarweb has to offer. Before we move on, however, I have one important thing to tell you. To return to this page at any time, simply click the home icon located in the upper right corner. All right, let's swap over to the App Intelligence tool by clicking on the grid icon next to Web Intelligence in the upper left corner and selecting App Intelligence. The basics. There's a lot of ground to cover here and not much time to do it, so let's dive right in. To get started, you'll want to compare two apps. I'll take a look at two popular mobile games, Clash Royale and Subway Surfers. In the search bar, I'll type Clash Royale. You'll notice that we have the option to switch between the App Store, Google Play, or both. For this video, I'll use the App Store only. I'll select the top app, and after a few seconds, it'll pop right up. Pro tip, by default, you'll be seeing data for users around the world. To get more refined results, simply click on Worldwide in the upper right corner and select the nation you're interested in from the list. I'll be using the United States. There we go. That looks better. All right, now it's time to add a second app. Click the blue Add App to Compare button. While there will be tons of recommended apps here, I'll type Subway Surfers into the search bar. Press the plus icon next to it and click off this window. There we go. The performance overview page, which we're on, makes it easy to quickly compare key findings, namely the number of App Store downloads the app has gotten during July 2025, and its overall ranking in the App Store, an average of customer ratings, the number of monthly average users, or MAU, and the daily stickiness, which tells us what percentage of the MAUs use the app daily. Now, before we move on, let's add 3 more apps to the page for a total of 5, the maximum number we can compare at a given time. I'll click the blue plus icon and choose to add the following 3 popular games: Candy Crush Saga, Clash of Clans, and Roblox. Done. Now, it's time to get a more complete picture by using the different tools on the left sidebar under App Analysis. I'll walk you through each of these one by one. Let's work top to bottom, starting with Store Downloads. Store Downloads. Pulling up Store Downloads, look at the chart toward the bottom of the screen. This is a great way to visualize trends, and you can adjust the chart so it displays daily, weekly, or monthly downloads. You can also change the time frame for this analysis in the upper right. Click on the calendar icon. You can choose from several preset time frames, e.g. last month or last year, or set one manually. I'll opt to look at the last year, so I'll click on last 12 months and hit apply. Now, the chart will be pulling data from the last 12 months. Scrutinize the data and look for patterns, as well as anomalies. For example, it looks like Candy Crush has fallen off since May 2025. What might this be? To fill in the edges, you'd want to pull in data from outside sources, e.g. press releases, app updates, social media trends. But Similarweb will help you spot trends that you otherwise probably would have missed. All right, let's move on and take a look at the next category, rankings. The devil is in the details. So let's look past the rows of data and check out the chart App Store ranking over time. The title is pretty self-explanatory. This chart shows us how each app's ranking fluctuated over the past 12 months. Look for anything that jumps out. For example, why did Clash of Clans and Clash Royale seem to spike wildly in the charts from March to April 2025 before comfortably setting in the top 25 since June? Oh, and I almost forgot. You can sort this data by device, iPhone or iPad, mode, free or paid app, and category, letting you further refine your insights. Of course, rankings on their own only tell a small part of the picture. It's just a composite score automatically calculated by Apple. Let's take a look at ratings to see what the app's users themselves have to say. The data here quickly tells us user sentiment over the last year. What's really interesting is how steady these apps have been. There have been 3 apps whose composite score hasn't changed, and the 2 that have changed only move 0.01% in either direction. The stability of these major apps isn't that surprising, but it's still shocking to see how little they've changed. Note, if your app or your competitor's app is relatively young, then expect the score to swing wildly as you onboard new users. We can also see a much more nuanced breakdown at the far right of the dataset. For example, we can see that all of the Clash Royale's 2 to 5 star ratings have decreased, and there's been a significant increase, 2.55%, in 1-star reviews over the last year. Not a major problem in the short term, but something that owners will likely want to monitor in the medium to long term. Now, let's take a closer look at what exactly these customers have to say by looking at the reviews themselves. Reviews. This is one of the most valuable features Similarweb has to offer, because it doesn't just look at the most recent reviews, but adds crucial context to those reviews. In other words, Similarweb analyzes user feedback from the most relevant reviews and divides them into the most commonly addressed topics. For example, Clash Royale has been receiving a lot of negative reviews, with the largest share falling into the general feedback category, alongside a significant amount of complaints about the pricing and payment structure. Scrolling down, we find even more valuable data to sort through. However, the standout feature I want to highlight is the reviews section at the bottom, which allows us to view actual customer reviews and sort for specific keywords. This is an incredible way to gain valuable insights from your competitors' customers and address their needs. If they complain about app stability, then you'll want to offer a more stable experience. If they complain about high prices, consider finding a better model or offering a free trial. In short, spend the time to read these reviews carefully and look for repeating patterns. If several people went to the trouble to praise or criticize a specific feature, it's safe to assume they're not alone in those sentiments. Still, Similarweb has a lot more to offer. Let's take a look at usage and sessions next. Usage and sessions. For the data gurus out there, this section is for you. This section provides comprehensive app usage metrics, including many we've seen before, such as the MAU, WAU, weekly average users, DAU, and the ratio of monthly users who launch the app every day. However, there are new ones too, including the sessions per user, or average number of times each user opened the app per day, how long each of those sessions lasted, and the total time a user spent on the app per day. Including the 2 charts down at the bottom, this section essentially breaks down how frequently people use and stay in your competitor's app. Again, you'll want to take this data and ask some questions. How does this data compare with your app? What might explain those differences? Is there a specific feature that seems to pull in the most people? User retention, unfortunately, isn't applicable for our purposes here, but it's basically the percentage of users who continue engaging with an app after their initial session. This data can be hidden by your competitors, but if it's available, it's a great way to see when, where, and how your competitors start shedding users. Now, let's wrap up our video today with a look at the Audience Insights tool, an easy way to look at the demographics of your competitors' customers, as well as their online interests and behaviors. Audience Insights. This section highlights the gender and age distribution of an app's users. For example, we can see that Clash of Clans and Clash Royale skew heavily towards young males, whereas Candy Crush skewed toward older women. The in-app design, interface, and in-app ads all need to be tailored to meet this specific demographic. All right, to recap, Similarweb's intuitive dashboard makes it easy for you to check everything related to your competitor's app. You'll be able to look from every angle, tracking downloads, rankings, and ratings, as well as studying actual customer reviews, examining and tracking in-app metrics, and seeing how your competitor's core audience stacks up to yours. So if you're ready to gain an edge over the competition, click the link in the description to get started with Similarweb today
and enjoy an extended 14-day free trial exclusive to our viewers.
Power your business today with the best and most trustworthy digital data on the market. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.